Hi, and welcome to Follow the Reader, a mini video series in which I interview a member of our community to share our thoughts on books, readings, and libraries. My name is Karen Leahy, and I'm the Digital Services Librarian here at the South Kingstown Library. Today, I'm joined by Alex Graudins, who is a new employee at the library. Hi, Alex, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you enjoying your job?
It's been great. I've only been here for 3 weeks, but honestly, it's so nice to just not only see what people are checking out and also checking back in. But I don't know, I'm very nerdy. I like just getting to shelve things and alphabetize. So I feel like this is the perfect job for me.
Yeah.
So it's been a really good time. It hasn't even been a month yet, but I
Yeah.
already feel so at home there.
Good. And has anything that you've learned to do at work surprised you about libraries so far? Anything you didn't know that you thought was interesting?
That is a good question. I feel like a lot of the things that I'm learning that I wasn't expecting to do so much is just how much work on the librarian's end goes into putting together a library card for somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to get a library card, but for us, it's like, oh, we gotta like input all the information, the barcode of, and like just all the procedures for if you forget it and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like books, they're so easy to get the hang of. But then when it comes to how to check out the books, that's the more complicated part that you really don't think of because you already have the card and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. That sounds good. So let's jump right in. What are you reading right now?
I am currently reading The Dead and the Dark by Courtney Gould. It is her debut book. I found it in the new young adult section. I'm a sucker for young adult mysteries. I couldn't really tell you why. I just like the journey, even if a lot of the endpoints are pretty similar. This one's really interesting because I picked it up thinking it was another one of those just, move to a new town, like kids are going missing or kids are turning up dead and trying to solve the mystery of that. But it's got a neat supernatural element. The main characters' dads are both like TV ghost hunters. So she goes into it thinking like, oh, all this stuff is fake. And this, I think they go back to the dad's old hometown, which she knows nothing about. And on top of learning secrets about her family and the town's history, she's also learning that, oh, maybe ghosts are real. So it's been a nice little change from the mystery books that I read.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it so far. And I always find a lot of cool stuff on the new young adults shelf. So I'm over there a lot.
Yeah. I think you'll find that working in a library, you end up with basically a never-ending to-be-read list because you just work there and you hold them all the time and you feel like you want to read everything.
I always have, when I'm shelving books, I have a list on my phone that I just like keep adding to where I'm like, okay, when I'm done with this other whole pile of books, I got to go check out these next.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite book you've read recently?
Yeah, I read Himawari House by Harmony Becker. It's a graphic novel. It follows the characters now, Hyejung and Tina, who are all abroad students from different countries. Now was born in Japan, moved to America when they were very little, and then moved back to Japan for this program. Hyejung's from Korea, and Tina's either from Taiwan or Thailand. The ties are screwing me up.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting book because it's about learning Japanese and being in a country where you feel like you should feel at home, but there are still elements that like make you feel like you don't fit in, and it's kind of like you feel fake in your own culture. And I read a lot of manga growing up.
Yeah.
So I feel like one thing that Eastern comics do more than Western is they talk more about emotion. I feel like Western were very action heavy, like superheroes and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of the first books in a while where I read it and I sort of got like that same emotion as when I read manga. where it's like a lot of little vignettes and like how characters are feeling and everything like that. So this is one of those books where it's like I picked it up because I had heard about it and I keep thinking about it even after finishing it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of chunky, but it's definitely worth it.
Oh, great. Now tell me, are you the type of person who uses a real bookmark? Do you use a piece of paper? Do you dog ear your pages? How do you
Oh
keep
God,
your
I would
place?
never dog ear. I feel like that's blasphemous. I am someone who uses a lot of scraps. I think because I mostly take my books out of the library, so I'm always using the slip with the due dates.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have like a business card, or I even had like I had ordered a pen, or not a pen, a pin off Etsy, and there's a little postcard that came with it that said libraries are for everyone. So this was shoved in one of my books. And then I had also recently bought a mini comic by Maddie Gonzalez that came with like a sticker of the main character and it says, "I survived Levon's face melter tour." So that was shoved in a book too. So in a way, they're all book related, but not officially bookmarks. But it's really just whatever's closest to my bed at the time, I think.
Well, that's good. At least you don't dog ear your pages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite reading snack or drink?
I feel like I don't always eat or drink when I read just because I'm terrified of like spilling it on the books or anything. One snack I've found that I've been eating a lot while I read is Twizzlers. I don't know why. I think it's just my friend has a joke that's just Twizzlers are their slogan should just be hard and bad. So I think it's just that having something to chew on is really nice and like tug on it. But yeah, so I've been like inhaling bags of Twizzlers while reading lately, which probably isn't the best, but I don't know, it's a good snack on my part.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite place to read?
Yeah, I read in my bed back there, because I'm in front of screens a lot during the day. So bed is sort of my time where I'm like, okay, finally getting away from that blue light. I'm gonna pop open a book and read for maybe like an hour before I go to bed. It's just like a nice little ritual.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a period where like I would read at the beach a lot in the sun, which was nice. Like, and it's also funny because my parents would do that a lot growing up. And as a kid, I would get so frustrated, like, why aren't we in the water? And now as an adult, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. This is nice.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to do that in a while. So I hope maybe this year will change that.
Yeah. Well, it's already almost summer here in Rhode Island.
Crazy.
What do you love about the library or libraries in general?
For me, libraries have just always been like a comfort spot. I feel like no matter where I go, there is a library. So like for me, I moved to South Kingstown in like 2016, 2015. And one of the first places I started going was the library because I was like, well, I know they'll have books that I like. So even if I don't know a ton of people in town, I know these books at least.
Yeah.
So the library is always like that one spot where even if you're somewhere you're not familiar, you'll always feel at home in this one location, even if you maybe don't know where all the shelves are and everything.
Right. Great. So kind of touched on this a little bit, but do you have any special memory of this library or another library that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I grew up in Franklin, Massachusetts, which is home of the nation's first public library. It's a corny thing we love to say. And when I was in early high school, I was on the teen advisory board, which for the most part was like throwing parties for little kids or writing like book reviews. But we did have this really nice opportunity where our leader, she was like, is there an author you would want to come visit? And I had just read Lemonade Mouth by Mark Peter Hughes at the time, who's a Rhode Island native, actually. And this was like years before his movie became, or not his book became a Disney Channel movie later on. It was very different from the book. I was very frustrated with that, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But we got him to come, and as like a 15-year-old, that was just like very eye-opening, and he was super nice, and like he brought his family too. We took a picture in front of his car that had like a giant sticker of the book on it, like he was doing a tour. It was just very nice. And I feel like we associate libraries so much with books, but they're also homes for like workshops and all these new things you can try, and like all these opportunities to like meet the creators of these books that we're reading. So it's just, I think about it a lot, and I'm very glad I had that opportunity so young too.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time on Follow the Reader. Bye.
Bye.